Welcome to the morning show on WRCO Radio. We are talking to Sarah Kubiak, who is a human development and relationship educator with UW Extension, focusing on Richland County. First-time visitor to the morning show. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. So let's talk about your past. Are you from the area originally?
I'm from Wisconsin, not specifically Richland, but I'm from the Janesville area.
Okay, good. And tell us a little bit about what you do and your job description.
Totally, yeah. So I focus primarily on financial education. So I teach classes on budgeting. I also offer classes specifically around like planning for end of life with finances. So we're doing a planning ahead course coming up. If you're interested, check out our website. But yeah, so I teach a lot of stuff related around finance and anything that people are interested in the community. I'd love to chat with y'all. If you have specific requests, I'm happy to help provide that.
When you talk about these classes, are they virtual?
Some are virtual, some are in person. It really depends. The planning ahead course that I'm teaching is currently virtual, but in the future we're hoping to have some in person, maybe at the library even.
Okay, that's exciting. So is this similar to what other counties do?
Yeah, so a lot of other counties, I know Crawford County has an educator that also does similar classes, as well as Grant County. They oftentimes focus on some other things like lifespan. I just focus on finance, so I'm a little more specialized than some of the other counties.
You're here to tell us about Get Real, and that's an event that I think people in the community have been familiar with, but it hasn't happened for a couple of years, has it?
Yeah, it hasn't. I'm new in this position, so the last educator left for a different position, and the last year we didn't have Get Real, but now it's coming back, which is really exciting. So really happy to have this program in the community.
Who will you be focusing this program towards?
So we have 4 schools signed up. So we have Ithaca, Richland Center High School, Riverdale, and River Valley. So we have about 400 students signed up that are coming. And I'm really excited to have them kind of go through the Get Real event and learn about managing finances.
What age group will be involved?
Mostly juniors and seniors, I think. There'll be a handful of sophomores in there, but yeah, it'll be juniors and seniors from the high school, kind of going through practicing things like that.
So they're going to go in, they're going to draw a life card. How does it work?
So yeah, they end up going through, they have to kind of go through the setup and like pay taxes, pick a place that they're renting, they have to buy a car, things like that. And then they also go through these like life events. So they could get pulled over for a ticket and then have to pay for a ticket. Or, they could have some kind of health emergency and have to go and pay for that. Or, maybe they'll win a lottery ticket, something like that. So there's a lot of different stations that people kind of walk through and just kind of practicing, what happens when you have a health emergency and, you have to budget things like that. So yeah. There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, there really is. But what a great opportunity for youngsters to maybe open their eyes a little bit, Sarah.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. A lot of students who have gone through in the past have remarked how difficult it is to go through and budget and to keep track of things, especially since our program, you can't go back and change your housing or your car choice. So it really is an opportunity for students to get that real world experience that, you may not traditionally get as a high schooler.
The funny thing is that somebody might go in with good intent, I'm going to do really well, mm-hmm. and you really have no control over those things.
No.
It's a lot like life, isn't it?
It really is, yeah, especially when you have those circumstances that come up that you're not prepared for, like the ticket or, some kind of health thing comes up or, all of a sudden you have a kid and now you have to support a child as well. And so, yeah, it's a really good way for you to kind of understand and conceptualize what those things are and how to kind of prep for them so you don't get, it doesn't like end up biting you in the butt.
I remember one of my own children went through this years ago, and I remember them saying, my phone costs that much?
Yeah, totally. It's funny because I have conversations with my own parents, like, because I just recently got out of school and I'm like, I'm sorry, how much is insurance, Mom? That's crazy. So yeah, it's really funny, as an adult now going through that and then having students have this opportunity to go through it. I'm like, yeah, it's going to open your eyes. You're going to be like, why is my phone bill so much? This is insane.
Did you have an opportunity such as Get Real when you were in school, Sarah?
Not that I remember. I don't remember doing this. So it's really cool to be a part of this. I think it's a really great opportunity for students. I wish I had gone through it.
I thought in the past, too, as an adult, it would be fun just to go through it and see where you wind up.
I know, right? I think it would be fun, especially because, like, I manage my own budget. I'm like, could I do it better?
Right. So it's all about learning opportunities, that's for sure. Where's it going to be held this year?
It's going to be at the Richland Center High School on April 23rd.
And it'll be in the field
In the
house?
gym. Yeah, in the gym.
Okay. And so you'll have booths?
Yeah, we'll have a bunch
there?
of booths set up. So there'll be a couple, like Uncle Sam, where you have to pay taxes and stuff on one side that you can't go back to. And then there's a whole bunch of other booths like law enforcement. There's an SOS station in case, you run out of money and you need some help. But yeah, there's a lot of different stations that people have the opportunity to go through and kind of work through.
One of the main reasons you're here is to talk about volunteers. They are needed, I'm sure, aren't they?
Yes, we need more volunteers. We really appreciate anyone in the community who's interested. They can either reach out to us by phone. Our phone number is 608-647-6148, or they could come into our office over at the old Richland County college. Yeah. You can come stop by. We have forms. If you're interested in volunteering, you don't have to volunteer the whole day. You could just do morning. You could just do afternoon. Or if there's like an hour you can come in. Totally fine. But we'd love any volunteers that are interested in helping us out.
Are you looking for businesses to get involved?
We'd love any like law enforcement or if there's any nurses out there who want to help with our health stations, that'd be really great. We'll take anyone that'll help us.
So if somebody volunteers, they can also play a role then, right? Not necessarily maybe are they their background law enforcement or insurance or whatever, but they can play the role.
Yeah, they totally can. So yeah, depending on how many volunteers we have that are interested in specific roles, we can have multiple people be law enforcement, tracking kids down. Or yeah, you can be an insurance agent. You could sell cars if you're really interested. Some people have a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, you get a really cool opportunity to play a bunch of different roles. Maybe you don't get to traditionally play.
So each student will get a career then, is that correct?
Yeah, each student will pick a career and they'll have an income, and then they'll use that to kind of go through the program and simulate what it's like to live on that career.
That's very eye-opening too, and it may scare them away from that career too, right?
I hope not. I hope it encourages them to think about, their finances. But hopefully they still are excited about whatever career they're interested in.
Now, is this taken through a class that the high schoolers are a part of, or they can just sign up to be here?
I think it's mostly a class, so like business classes or like a personal finance class will go through and talk about this, and they'll fill out the information for it. Yeah.
So 4 area high schools, that's a lot of students to get through there. Do they go in shifts? Or?
Yeah. So we have shifts that go through. So starting at like 8 a.m. till the end of the school day, they go through. And we let in like 20 students at a time to just try and regulate it so a crowd doesn't get too big.
Do you do a survey afterwards to see what they've done and what they didn't do?
Yeah, I think we do an evaluation for both volunteers and for students to see what we can improve. Obviously, we want the program to be the best that it can be, so definitely getting feedback from those who have gone through it. Are grocery prices really high? Well, that's the reality at this point. But then also for volunteers, if there's things that, we could improve to make it better.
Yeah, go buy some eggs and see how how you come out.
Yeah.
Could you talk about some of the other programs you have through UW Extension?
Yeah, so I offer a resource called financial coaching. So anyone in the community can come talk to me, and I can kind of help them work through any of their financial goals. Anything, whatever it is, and we can kind of sit down and work through it. And then I also, as I mentioned, do Planning Ahead, which is a course specifically thinking about financial planning at the end of your life. So like what is a will, estate planning, things like that. As well as I'm actually offering a course next month. Yeah, next month at the library. It's called Climate Proofing Your Finances. So thinking about as the climate changes, as flooding and those kinds of things happen more frequently, how can we kind of prepare ourselves financially for those kinds of situations so that we're in a good spot and we're not like, oh my gosh, what's going to go on? What are we going to do? There's all this flooding, all this damage. So that's kind of some of the courses I do, but a lot of it is like random like budgeting classes, like how do we budget, how do we think about things in our budget that we can kind of improve to make things better.
Is there a cost for the program?
No, all of I think our planning ahead course, I want to say it's free because you can just download the PDF for the packet that we have. But most of the other courses I offer are free. Any financial planning, coaching, and most of my budgeting classes are also free. And my climate proofing class is free because it's not like you need a booklet or anything. And that's usually where costs come from.
Do you have goals? Some things that you'd like to see brought, maybe made available for people in the area? Anything you can think of, Sarah?
I think one of the biggest things is just promoting financial literacy and empowering people in the community to be able to make choices about their finances. I know, especially as economic times have gotten harder and harder and people are getting more scared about their money, knowing that there's resources available to them that they can access and that they can utilize to really put themselves in a position that meets their own financial goals and helps them get ahead so they're not, stressing over the price of eggs.
Yeah, very much so. But I think it's important to start with the youngsters, isn't it? To plant that seed early.
True, totally. And that's why I think Get Real is such a really cool event. It gets them in that mindset, gets them thinking about those things. Because some people do end up just entering the workforce after high school. So this is a really good opportunity for them to get an eye-opening effect, see what's going on, and then be able to enter that workforce and have those kinds of experiences. So, yeah. I think it's great.
Get Real. So if somebody's interested and they'd like to volunteer, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so definitely reaching out to our office. So calling us, or you could shoot me an email and I could reach you out to the people. But you could also stop in our office. It's a really great spot to reach us.
And the number again is?
608-647-6148.
Is there a deadline for volunteers to sign up?
Not at the moment. I mean, probably a couple weeks till a week before our event, but we're still taking volunteers. So.
All right. And then it's going to be, again, April 23rd.
April 23rd, yep.
Should be a lot of fun, and it'd be fun to be a mouse in the corner,
totally.
Just to watch somebody go through some of these youngsters and maybe confusion.
There's going to be a lot of confusion.
Elation, there could be elation too.
True, very true.
if you hit the home run and things
totally.
Like that. Are there ways to win the lottery too, or is that?
As far as I know, there's no way to win the lottery.
It's more true to life stuff.
Yeah, very true to life, especially in Richland County.
Right, great. Well, thanks for coming in, Sarah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
We hope it goes well for you.
Thanks.
Get Real event coming up on the 23rd of April. Volunteers needed. Again, Sarah Kubiak, Human Development and Relationship Educator through UW Extension, Richland County, on our morning show.